Welcome to this very special edition of Kababayan Today. My name is Rembrandt Sabelas. You might have seen me on the Filipino Comedy Tour.
And I'm Ivy Tevez, currently on the show The World Poker Tour on Fox Sports Network.
We are excited to bring you this next guest. He is a choreographer, producer, director, and dancer, Mr. Cris Judd. How you doing, Cris?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Hi, Cris. Welcome.
Thank you.
What you been up to, man?
Well, I just got back from Vegas. I was out there working on a dance convention, teaching our national convention.
Nice.
And I'm a new father, so I'm just, yeah, I have a little girl named Vivian, 10 months old. She'll be 10 months this month. So just being home with her has been really cool.
How's this first one?
First one.
First one. How is it?
It's unbelievable. I mean, I never imagined what it would ever be like, and you can't imagine it unless you have one. So.
Right.
It's better than I ever expected.
A lot of sleepless nights?
Yes. Can you tell?
You still look good.
But it's worth it.
Right.
It's worth it.
Gotcha.
So, Cris, I guess everybody wants to know, like, how did you get started in the industry?
Well, I got started really late in life. I started dancing when I was 21. And it all started at Disney World in Orlando. I was working at Disney World. And one of my friends, before that, I was going to college. I was playing basketball in college in Northwest Florida. And one of my friends was in the military. And he got out of the Air Force. And he was like, I'm going to move to Orlando and become a tour guide at the Great Movie Ride. You want to let's go work at Disney? And I was like, cool. So I had injury, so I kind of dropped out of school. And then I went to Orlando and auditioned for the character department.
Okay.
And so I was Pluto and Tigger and Eeyore and all those, all the characters in my height range and whatnot. And so I did this show called Disney Mania in front of the stage with the kids of the kingdom who were the singers and dancers. And I ended up having a crush on my partner, and she was a dancer and had been a dancer for a while there. And so I asked her out on a date, and she gave me the quotes, I don't date characters.
You're like, I gotta become a dancer now.
Exactly. Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, how do I get I was like mad. So how do I get your job? And she goes, well, you need years and years of dance training. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm doing the same choreography as you, but I'm in a Pluto costume. It can't be that hard.
Exactly.
Right.
So I said, you give me 1 year, I'll be dancing at Disney. Yeah. And so it was my New Year's resolution because it was right around Christmas. And so New Year's resolution was I'm going to take dance class. I'm going to give myself 1 year to be a professional dancer. And I started off with beginning jazz, and then after about 2 or 3 weeks, I started ballet. So I started studying jazz and ballet. After about probably a month after that, I started taking advanced classes, and because I was like, I need to fast track this. Right, exactly. And at that time, I was like auditioning for everything, and eventually, in 8 months, I got my contract at Disney.
Oh, that works.
And now I'm here talking to you.
That definitely works.
And that was 25 years, 1991.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
How long ago is that? I can't count that.
Don't age us right now.
I can't count that far back. I think it was 24 years, maybe. Yeah.
And what are your, like, in this monster career that you have right now, what are your highlights? Like, give us like 2 things that like really would stand out in your career for yourself.
This is what when I teach kids dance and when I teach anybody who's performing, and it doesn't matter where you perform, you never know who's watching. And so when I was performing at Disney, I was noticed by Michael Jackson's choreographer. Okay. And he hired me to dance with Michael Jackson. Wow. And I never auditioned for him. That was the most amazing thing, is that he hired me for the MTV Music Awards in 1995 when Michael Jackson opened the show. And initially, I was called by an agent here in in LA, and I was like, who, what? No, I knew nothing about agents and anything like that, so I was kind of, who's this? I didn't get it, and it's like, Michael Jackson, really, what? And finally they're like, yes, we want you in New York, and this and this and that, so I was like, whoa, I'm going to dance with Michael Jackson. And that just didn't set with me, and so we were there for 2 weeks, and just that whole process actually was my audition process. Wow. That was basically my audition, was the 2-week process of rehearsal. to see if I could like hang with the dudes from New York and
exactly.
and Los Angeles.
And obviously you did.
But
Obviously you
yeah,
did.
and so that was like probably the highlight and what started everything for me.
Gotcha, man. Well, where can people see what you're doing now? Like, do you have a website?
You know, I'm on Twitter,
Okay.
you know, Facebook and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And Instagram.
You know, Instagram, Twitter is Cris Judd.
Okay.
My Facebook page and all that
Beautiful,
stuff. So,
man.
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming down, man. It's an honor for having you on
Wow,
the show.
well, thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
You know, I know a lot of kids look up to you, especially in the Filipino community as well, as the
Absolutely,
dance
man.
community.
You know, I got
It's been a
support.
pleasure, man.
Yeah,
Really. Thank you
for
so
having
much. Just hold tight. We're going to ask you some more questions after the break. You guys are watching Kababayan Today. We'll be right back.